This is Pastor Curry, pastor of the East Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. Today with Coffee with Curry, I'm kind of excited because one of my brothers, one of my friends, one of our members is a part of this Coffee with Curry today. And we're going to do a catch-up show where we can be able to remember and remind and bring back to the front some of the things that Duffy Hope is all about. I think out of all of the pioneers of the city of Wilmington and the state of Delaware, this is an understated one. And I'm looking forward to a conversation with him. So why don't you call somebody real quickly? Tell them Coffee with Curry is on, and let's get after it.
Good morning, Delaware and surrounding areas. You are now tuned in to this week's Coffee with Curry. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. with new guests every week. So grab your cup of coffee and join us on Coffee with Curry.
And we're back. As I indicated, we have Alan Duffy Samuels. I had to say that, Brother Samuel, because I call you Duffy so much until your last name is Duffy to me. I say, well, what's his name? His name is Samuel Duffy, when in actuality, your real name is Alan Duffy Samuel. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. You see me every Sunday. I see you every Sunday, too. You're very faithful. That's interesting. You know, for those of you who don't come to church, I will give him credit. He's not one of those brothers who show up every so often unless you're out of town, because you are out of town a whole lot here recently. But I'm doing well. Duffy, as the last time we got together, how's things going? I just want to do a catch up real quick on the front part of this conversation. Just tell me a little bit about some of the exciting things that happened. I know your daughter, who's a member here as well, just graduated from college. Let's get a catch up.
Everything's doing well. My wife is doing good, man. You know, she's running an organization for me.
I did notice that things are a little bit more organized.
Yes,
so that's what it is.
Yeah,
okay,
she's
very
there.
good.
She makes it. Yeah, she organizes us, so it's because of her.
Good,
yeah.
good.
You know, my oldest daughter, Asia. You know.
And before you jump to Asia, I just want to say, since we're on the air, that you tell your wife that I gave her a compliment, but I would love to see her sometime.
I will definitely.
Because I did marry y'all, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I wasn't sure. Okay. All right, now go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, my oldest daughter, Asia, she's doing well. You know, she has two boys. You know, so I had
so you got How old is the youngest?
The youngest is 2.
Okay, all right.
And then, you know, we have Destiny, who just graduated from high school. From college.
Wow.
From college.
All that money you spent, are you telling me you can't remember it's college?
From college, from Talent University, so I'm happy for her. Then Kennedy just moved up to 7th grade. So.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I don't want to forget about Kennedy, too. But that's great. That's great. So going back to Destiny for just a second, she just graduated from Towson. Is she planning to go back, or is she planning to start in the work field?
Yeah, she's planning on going back for a master's.
Okay. Is she going to Towson? Or
she's going to go to Towson. She's going to stay down there. So
yeah, and I'm noticing, like Sunday when we announced that she had graduated, she's starting to come out of that shell. She was so quiet for a long time. I don't know who she takes that after, because neither you nor her mom are quiet people. But she's starting to come out of her shell now, and she did well. And I'm grateful that she made it through there very successful. So she's going to go back. Is she going to move down there, or is she going to?
I think she wants to stay down that way.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe she want to get away from you. I don't know.
Nah, just a couple years. But she's the type that I believe out of all my kids, she'd probably be the one to come back and take over the organization.
Excellent. That's important.
But right now, she wants to be a physical therapist.
Yeah, and this can kind of fall into that same line, because entrepreneurship can branch out to many different things.
Absolutely.
And her going to school and getting her education was very important. Duffy, very few people give you the credit for being as successful with some of the young people that you have really tried to work hard on. I know some of them didn't turn out the way you had anticipated that they turned out, but for the most part, you have a very, very strong track record of personal and public support for young people. And when you talk about your daughters, when you talk about, and it's interesting, you have all girls, all 3 are girls,
all girls.
but they all are graduates. They're all doing well. 2 of them are graduates, and they're all doing well. That's really good, Duff. And you're not just talking it, you're living it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so important. We don't get a chance to talk like we used to when we used to serve on Memorial Board, like we talked every day. But then when you became a member, I stopped talking to you, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you treated me like a regular person.
I don't treat you. You got my cell phone number, so obviously you don't get treated like a regular person. But
we should have lunch and everything, man.
We did, man. But you know what? That was during a season in our lives, and that's both of our lives. We ran into some rough stuff with life.
Right.
With life, not with each other, but with life, and the things that we used to do. And I think you kind of reminded me just now that I probably need to do more rekindling some of the friendships and the partnerships and relationships that I've had who really helped me through some of the storms I had, as well as some of the storms you had, because we did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you wasn't as big as you are now. What you sure you still don't go to lunch?
Yeah, on your tab. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I really appreciate our friendship. Like you said, you helped me get through a lot of things. The wisdom that you gave me. I remember we had a personal conversation years ago. Was on Moyer's board, and you really helped me get to that point. And then once I told you about I wanted to get married, and we talked about that, and you also blessed our marriage, man, and also married us. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hold good people down, and when I saw, and I still see how God uses you to help young people. And it's unbiased. It's not like you are out for the money. I hope that you are being paid, but it's not about that. It's really about changing the lives of young people. And whenever you ran into a problem, I always remember what was told to me. If the enemy can destroy the head, then everything that the head is trying to work for will be gone. So it's always me trying to pour back at what people have poured into me. And I think that's so great. How's your health doing?
Well, it was good.
Okay.
I'm getting better. I just gotta lose some weight, man. It's just hard, man. Being in the area where I'm at, downtown Wilmington, there's no healthy food down there, man. So,
it is.
No, it's not, man.
Right across the street from you, it's very expensive, but I think they got a nice sandwich spot right next, and you just eat rye bread, wheat bread instead of that white bread.
I'm trying,
You're
man.
trying. But
trying.
you know what that says, and for those of you who are watching, most of the time when you see brothers, whether it be white, black, or whoever, who are gaining weight or can't lose the weight, is because you're happy. You're happy married. You're not trying to be out there, so you have to keep a certain imagery and look. You're happy, and I think that's a sign, because as I'm looking at you today, you could tell you're happy.
Yeah, I'm happy, definitely happy.
Yeah.
But I don't want this stomach, though.
Yeah, that's all right. That means your grandfather. Now you're a grandpa.
But I got to be able to get up and down with my grandkids.
Yeah, you can, because you're an athlete. You're an athlete by nature, so you'll be able to do that. But I'm glad to hear that your health is better. I remember the episode that occurred, and I often remind our viewers every time we get together that was a moment that was scary. It was frightening to me for you to make the phone call that you had to make, but I appreciated it so very much. But now, since that has occurred, I think it's like 3 years now, right?
Yep, coming up on 3 years.
Yeah, and you're doing well, and the doctor is saying that you just lose a little bit of weight, you'll be all right.
Lose some weight, man.
Okay.
Just lose weight, man. I gotta be around for my kids and my grandkids, and then the kids that I'm serving, man.
Yeah, well, you will.
And like you stated about, just working with young people, like I go back to when I had conversations with Dr. Moyer, the board we sat on. He always said, always give back and always look out for people who are less fortunate, who can't speak for themselves, help them become a voice.
Right.
So that's why I do what I do, man. Like Mr. Pritchett, who was, rest in peace as well. A lot of people played a part, just like right now you play a part in my life. You know what I'm saying? I watch some things that you do, how smart you are as a businessman, and also how you lead over 2,000 members, you know what I'm saying? So I just see that, and that's one of the things I talk about. Say, hey, man, I got to be a great leader, because we get hit with a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And last year we went away for a retreat, and the facilitators made this train, and was on a track, and he said, everybody from board members and staff, where are you at on this? So it's people all on it. So there's one person on the track. Greg get ran over, and they said, why'd you put yourself there? I said, because I feel like I'm always going to get ran over, because I got to fight with the community. I got to fight with funders. I got to fight with my students, because I got to try to keep them safe and give them the right avenues to be successful. So it's always a fight, and there's always somebody trying to run you over. So we talked about before, people always attacking when you're doing something good.
Yes.
So that's a good thing, but also you don't want to deal with all that attack. You want to be, why we always can't get along and say support one another, man.
Yeah. Well, we don't live in a world where we can all get along, and as a matter of fact, this Sunday, if you show up to church, you're going to find that that's the area I'm preaching on, how we would love for it to be like Burger King, have it our way, and our way is to have a perfect life, have a perfect everything. But it's the tension in our lives, in my opinion. It's the tension in our lives that causes us to grow, become better, do things differently, be ready for the shift, that occurs. You built Duffy's Hope up from the ground, and to hear you even make the comments you're making now speaks to your commitment to it and the success of it.
Absolutely. For me, right, I was just talking to my assistant Chaz, was that Tuesday? Because we were talking about some things, and what you just said recently, just a couple minutes ago about being paid. I told him I went 10 straight years without getting paid.
That's right.
Because I was afraid to get paid because I thought that was against the law, because no one taught me how to run a nonprofit.
And you know what? You probably were successful because nobody taught you that, because in our community, a lot of times, that's the first thing that happens. How much am I going to get paid?
Right.
But that spoke to your commitment. I don't care if I'm paid or not. I'm going to do what I got to do. 10 years.
10 years.
That's awesome.
And so now we're 22 years in as a nonprofit. And so for me, it's just like my commitment's there to always save young people. It's not about the money. It's about saving these young people. Like I said, people can give me an award, but the biggest award for me is seeing these young people stay alive and walk across the stage, become successful. That's my biggest award, achievements that I can ever ask for, man.
Yeah.
I'm like a proud dad every June, the first week of June to like the middle of June when I go to these graduations to see these young people walk across the stage, if it's high school or college, because I know where they came from, And a lot of times, I always tell people, they come in hopeless and then they become hopeful with us.
Right. And it's proven. It's proven time after time after time. And y'all stay consistent. How many 501c3s or how many nonprofit organizations started when you started and still around?
Yeah.
And that's something that helps you to really say, you know what, it's worth it.
Absolutely.
It's worth it. I mean, you were able to survive, and you were able to survive and do well in your organization with some of the attacks that really came at you. And you're still standing strong. It's not even about being bragging about something right now. It's really about saying, if for that young person who's watching who want to start their own business, if you stick to it, even through the tough times, through the times when there's nothing going on that you want to go right, it always comes out on top.
Absolutely, and that's my message. I preach to the young people, man. Consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Through the storms, through everything, you gotta stay consistent and always, keep God first. And definitely just, look ahead, because I always use this method right here. When you get in the car, what's the biggest window in the car? It's the front window,
that's
right?
Yeah.
Because I said, if you look out that window, what if you're driving and you keep looking back, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You're gonna crash. That's why they make the back window the smallest window.
That's right.
And so I always tell them, look ahead, it ain't the setback, it's the get back.
Okay, there you go. What you want to preach?
Yeah,
you ready to preach? I got license. I mean, I can easily give you one, and you can come on in and join the ministerial staff here at Eastside. You get more lunches with me. I guarantee you that.
More lunches.
but that's good, Duff. And we're gonna, in a few minutes, we're gonna take a commercial break, and we're really gonna talk about Duffy Hope, because there's so much you all are doing. You got some stuff coming up.
Absolutely.
You got your annual giving and things of that nature. But before I let you go on this one, I wanted to know, how did we end up with the basketball tournament? I love that every year I look forward to that. How did that turn out? I was there, but I mean, were you all right? Was everything turn out all right for that?
So last year for the celebrity game, there's a lot going on, as you noticed, but the people were happy.
Okay.
See, behind the scenes was the thing. So the people that was at the game, they really enjoyed it. So it was a family event, man. But, for us, I'm just looking to raise more money. Okay. I'm just, the year before that, it was sold out. We raised money. Last year, we lost some money. So, as we get, after the commercial break, we'll go into the upcoming year, what we're looking for, so we can try to raise some more money. Because the thing about it, man, I brought it to the city because everybody wanted it in the city. So now I want the city to come out and support it. Yeah. I mean, it's a great thing. It's not just, people think it's just for young people or it's just for black people. No. It's for everybody.
That's right.
It's a family event. It's great entertainment. And, if it was something, that wasn't worth it, or if it was like not organized, I don't believe you'll be a part of it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know what type of person you are, your character. Like, Duff, I can't do this, man. But we're blessed to have you to come and pray before the game, and I mean, a lot of celebrities enjoy it. They say, "Oh man, I really appreciate it."
And I get a chance to see some of my favorite people too. Yeah. I wouldn't be able to see it without your games. It's a great event. Let me ask you to tell us how, if a person in the next segment, we are going to talk about Duffy Hope and donations and things of that nature. But if a person wants to get in touch with Duffy Hope for donations for whatever, how could they get in touch with Duffy Hope?
They can call 302-652-3532, or you can email us at info@duffyshope.org. Or you can go on our website, duffyshopeinc.org, or our Instagram, Duffy's Hope, Facebook, Duffy's Hope. So all type of ways to get in touch. And
it's going to be at the bottom of your screen as well. We want to make sure that y'all get a chance to send this information, because one of the things that I've noticed is that in our community, we don't tend to donate to the level that we need to. Now, we'll donate at church, but donate when it comes down to these organizations to keep them running so that our young people will have a safe haven. So again, get in touch with Duffy. We're going to make sure that you see that information at the bottom of the screen, as well as when we come back on the next segment, we really want to talk a little bit about what he's doing, so you'll get a chance to really feel what Duffy Hope is all about. We'll be right back.
We need volunteers, we need mentors, and we need sponsorship. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope. Go on our website, duffyshopeinc.org, and donate that way. You can call us at 302-652-3532. We can take your payment over the phone. You can mail us a check at 100 West 10th Street, Suite number 9, Wilmington, Delaware, 19801. Also, you can donate your time. If you don't have money, donate your time. Come help us with the garden. Help us mentor or help be a tutor, things like that. So please think about donating to Duffy's Hope.
Join us at 9 a.m. on Facebook Live every Sunday by typing Zion Fair Baptist Church.
Jesus felt what you're feeling, but he did not sin. Am I in the word? Have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin.
We are Wilmington's most exciting church.
And we're back. Just a quick conversation with Brother Duffy. I told you that he's one of my favorite people, so it becomes easy for me to interview him. As a matter of fact, it becomes more relaxed. I done cut in more than I've ever cut in with any of our guests, because every time you say something, I try to seize on that moment. But Duffy, we had a chance to talk a little bit about the family. I'm glad everybody's doing well in your personal life as well as in the professional life. But we want to really kind of like turn the corner a little bit and talk a little bit about Duffy's Hope, because that organization is about 21 years. You said 21 years now?
22.
22 years, and it's doing very well, and we want it to continue to grow and get stronger as the years go on. So tell us a little bit about some of the old, new, whichever way you want to start.
So last time we was on, we talked about some federal grants that we received. So with the federal grants, it gave us opportunity to be in 9 different schools in Newcastle County. So we do Project Drive, which is an unhealthy and healthy relationship. Also cover things like HIV and AIDS, STIs. We also talk about unmarital sex. So it's things that school really don't want to touch on, but it's things that we need to teach our young people about.
Absolutely.
Then we also have a Project Prevent, which is a violence prevention program where we go into schools, we work with the schools on mediation, de-escalating. Also, we train them on youth mental health first aid training. And we also, work with the school resource officers about some things as well with violence prevention. So like I said, we're in 9 different schools. We also have an after-school program at Glasgow High School, Monday through Thursday. Then we also have our ambassador.
What does that entail?
It entails, college tours, tutoring, life skills, financial literacy.
It's almost like a holistic thing.
Holistic,
okay,
yes.
Very good.
And then our ambassador program, which is an evidence-based program that we do. We use the Phoenix curriculum, and that's Monday through Wednesday. That's our baby. That's the one who got us started, right? So that's our longest standard program right now.
Okay.
So that's been around for 17 years.
Wow.
So
and where do y'all run that out of?
We run that out of our community service building.
So young people come there.
Okay. From 6 to 7:30, Monday through Wednesday. So Mondays and Wednesdays is group night. Tuesdays is tutoring night. So
Excellent.
So, right now, in all our programs this year, we serviced over 450 students.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've in all the 9 schools and then with our ambassador program. So we service over 450 students. And this summer we'll have a summer camp, our first one that we're doing for our students and the ambassadors. So we're gonna have about 15 students that we're gonna be with us all summer.
Now back up just a little bit, and then we'll come to the summer camp. You had shared that you're serving over 450 young people. And these young people are spread out over the programs that you all have.
Correct.
Now, after that, you made a comment, and I can't remember exactly what you had shared. After you said you shared about that program, but it was something about that. It was something about that program I wanted to grab. I didn't want to cut you off.
Was it the ambassador program?
All right, tell me a little bit about it.
So the ambassador program, we have an evidence-based curriculum called the Phoenix that we work on, and it, is gang prevention, violence prevention.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, it talks about abstinence. It talks about financial literacy, etiquette. Risky behaviors, life skills. So it's a whole resource of information that these young people are taught.
Okay, during that course of that.
And then they also they have to, to be in the program, they have to do community service projects. So we do a community service project once a month. We work with other organizations. We might be cleaning up in the area. Like we have a garden on 9th and Church Street where we grow fruits and vegetables. The kids this is their project to keep it, harvest and we just give the fruits and vegetables out to the community.
Excellent.
And the garden manager of the project is Miss Colleen, who lives right next door to her. She's been doing a great job keeping everything together. Also, we take them on field trips, educational or recreational. Each year we do a college tour. We take them away. Last year they went to Florida for 5 days.
Oh wow!
And they went to.
Do you go on those trips with them?
I do, but last year I didn't make it because it was closer to the game. So. They went to Florida. They went to like 3 different schools, and then they also went to Universal Studios. So, So a lot of these kids get opportunity to do things that they have never done before.
Did they fly or drive?
They flew.
Oh wow!
Yeah, flew right out of Newcastle Airport.
Yeah, that's amazing. Especially the rates as well.
Yeah, and we just took kids spring break. We took them down to Florida again. So that's like our favorite place, Went down there for, just for team building and also opportunity just to get away during spring break, so.
That's great. Now, the children that you have coming in for the summer camp, tell me a little bit about where would that be housed at?
It'll be housed at the community service building.
Okay.
And so basically we're teaching them, also while they're coming in, some of them will be working with us as well. So our main focus is financial literacy this year. Okay. Also talk about career readiness. Also we talk about life skills and decision making and healthy choices. So that's what the topics are this summer. Okay.
Now, will the camp be a full day or just a couple hours?
No, it's a couple hours. It'll be 9 to 1.
Oh, okay.
They're 9 to 1, so yeah.
Will you be serving any meals or anything in there?
No, we need help with meals. So,
well, the Department of Education, food services, I forgot what you call it. They have that, and as long as the children as long as your organization is in an area where poverty is strong, which you all are, I can try to get some information for you to help you because they'll do either 1 meal or 2 meals. Because in our case, they're doing 3, and I think as long as you are serving a community that needs it, the help, the support. Getting the children off the street is most important. Absolutely. And to hear all these things you're doing, how much staff do you have?
Oh, wow. We have 12 full-time and 4 part-time staff.
Oh, wow. That's excellent.
So, so we started with just me and one person.
That's why I was like 12.
Yeah, so now we're fully staffed. And actually, we're looking to hire some more, too, going down the road. So hopefully, we'll get these other grants that we got in place and moving forward. Like, we just started a new program, too, called 24/7 Dads. 24/7 Dads. Oh. So it's a fatherhood program.
Okay.
So
what's that about?
So basically it's just helping fathers, learn, give them the resources they need, give them any type of assistance they might, like with trying to get a job or just trying to build a relationship with their kids. Also anything with, trying to give them the resources they need with getting clothes for the job interview. So it's more of a peer one-on-one and group setting, just working with fathers.
Wow. So all of these, since we last talked, it's not been a year yet, but I guess we didn't really talk about you having all of this type of infrastructure where I guess the married life is really working well for you.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's working, and to have this many 12 staff persons, you almost got more staff than we have, and we've been around for 100 years. Now, since we were talking about staff, I know when you came over to the church a couple of days ago, you had a young brother with you. He's now served, I think, as one of your assistants. Tell me a little bit about him and what he does.
Well, he does everything, you know.
Okay.
He comes in and well, actually, let me tell you the story how he met. He inboxed me on Instagram like maybe 2 months before the celebrity game. Said he wanted to, you know, he was thinking he wanted to change his career and he wanted to be a personal assistant, and he was looking for an opportunity. So I just I don't know who this is, I don't know what he's trying to do, so I ignored it. So this guy showed up one day at the office at a meeting, and ever since then we couldn't get rid of him, man. And it's like I was telling somebody the other day, it's like, I didn't know this guy, and I don't trust people easily.
Absolutely.
During the summertime, we was running around, a lot of stuff going on, and he had a bag full of money. And he had it for the whole weekend. And I totally forgot about it. He brought it back on Monday, and everything was still in place.
Everything was in place?
Everything was in place.
Okay, we can trust him for another month.
Yeah, and trust him for another month. And so from there, you know, he came on board, and I told him, man, he said, man, you know, he's very spiritual. He said, you know, this is God's work. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm called to do.
Okay.
And I said, man, I don't have no money to pay you. I said, and he said, well, don't worry about that. We'll get it later on down the line. And so he has this, you know, he's younger than me, so he has this energetic mind, and he's really looking at ideals, getting me out of, you know, trying to catch me up to speed with the new technology and everything, the new world. So he has these great ideals. I'm like, yo, slow down, brother, slow down. You know, come on, hold on, let's take one thing at a time. But he was just like, man, I said, listen, man, I can't have you around here, man, I'll pay you something. So I started giving money for my stipends, and so just trying to pay him. And it was, you know, and I felt bad because I can't, you know, he does great work. You know, I count on him. He makes sure that I'm on time to my appointments, like scheduled meetings. He's making sure that things get done in the office. He's building relationships with other people in the community.
Excellent.
Yeah, so, you know, and he's always thinking ahead. He's like, he always saying that I'm always shortchanging myself, that I'm bigger than what I am.
Right.
And I always being modest and humble instead of being bold and say, hey, go out there and do more. Like he said, he wants us to be outside and, you know, do whole Delaware, but also let's do some other areas too.
Yeah, one of the things that when I met him, I did notice right away that he wasn't shy.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And I agree with you that a lot of times those of us who are supervisors or people who manage people, we've had people come in our lives who have just done crazy stuff. Yeah. So it becomes hard to trust. But Sunday's message again, so make sure you're in church, dealing with the shift. You have to be able to shift and say, you know what, I don't know. Half the stuff that happens, half the success we receive here, even here at the church, is the people who are around me.
Absolutely.
One of the great things about Ronald Reagan was that not that he was so bright, but he hung around the right people. He had around him the right people to really make things happen. And to hear that, you know, you got somebody that can really start putting you on the plateau that you belong on. Because I've been saying that. I mean, I remember when your name came up for the Moyer board. I mean, the level of accolades that I call her Mom BB gave. I'm looking for, you know, Julius Irving to come through the door. But in actuality, a humble brother came in, and whatever I can do, I'll do to support. But I'm glad to hear that you got somebody that can be there, that can push you, can stretch you, and you know, as pastor to parishioner, give them an opportunity. But you know what you got to do to keep things rolling. But I'm glad to hear that. And I also, one of the things that he said, he worked for the DuPont at some point.
Yes.
So that was a good thing too. So I'm glad that you got some good help. So that's the Duffy Hope, and I'm glad that things are going well. We're going to now shift over to, before I go to the commercial break, and we're going to continue in the next segment, a little bit about some of the campaigning efforts or some of the events that you want to have that will help so that you can pay this brother.
Okay. Yeah, so also, too, let me throw in there, too, another program. We just started we're 22 years in with our Summer Youth Basketball League, too. We just kicked off. The draft was last Monday, the 17th. Our first game is this Monday. So we had about 70-something kids that came out to get drafted on last Monday. So, this is, like I said, this is something that the young people look forward to.
What age is this?
This is high school, 14 to 18.
Who's leading it?
So my league coordinator is Eric English.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's a brother who coached in the league, and he won about 3 championships. So he said he was done, so he needed to do something in the front office. So now he think he's Jerry Jones, So he's in the front office running. He's been doing a great job doing the league. Been running the league for the last 6 years. So
okay.
So he took.
Now, where's that ran out of?
The Powell Center in Wilmington.
Okay.
So for me, this is one of the things where I always say, we don't get enough support there because this is a time where you have a whole bunch of young people off the street corners. The crime rate is down between 5:30 until like 8:30 at night because the young people are in the gym playing basketball or in there watching. So for me to have to keep begging people almost to get funding for this program, and it's sad because we get our usual sponsors, Tice Law, Pratchett, Sam Pratchett, Capano, Congo, Thorough Threads. We get our usual wisdom going to support us, the Farnans, they do great every year supporting the whole league. So, it's sad that, that I can't get the whole league paid for.
Right.
I know we get a grant that pays for half of it through the Criminal Justice Council and PBH. So, but other than that, man, it's sad because it's a good thing. It's a safe haven. You know what I'm saying? And it's definitely it's a cost to have that league.
Absolutely.
You gotta pay referees. You gotta pay the coaches volunteer their time. So you gotta pay the referees. You gotta pay for uniforms. You gotta pay for security. You gotta pay for the facility. You gotta pay for the basketballs and scorekeepers and all that, goalkeepers, all that. So it's a thing. So it's one of them things that I'm happy that we do, but it's like I always find a way to make it happen for 22 years.
Yeah, but sometimes making it happen is where the stress comes in.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand that. We're gonna take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Join us at 9 a.m. on YouTube every Sunday by typing Zion Fair Baptist Church.
Oh my God, help me today. Which means every storm is a school. Every trial is a teacher. Every experience is an education. And every difficulty is development.
We are Wilmington's most exciting church.
News all across the nation. Wilmington's latest headlines. Advocating for change in the community with Dr. C.T. Curry, Kobe Owens, and Shanae Darby. Tune in to The Source every Sunday at 5 p.m.
And we're back. Well, we were in the midst of talking a little bit about that basketball league that you put together for our young people, and we can go right from there.
Yeah, so, and like I was saying, my supporters that been there for over 10 years, and so I left out the House of Right.
Out the House of Right?
Yeah, I didn't need to.
That's Undertaker. That's Undertaker. And he's a fellow congregant of yours, and you left out the House of Right.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wasn't intentional. I'm sorry, Justin. And family, I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Yeah.
Justin showed up last Monday, with his son to play in the league. So
did he?
Yeah.
Well, he don't show up to church, so he'll just show up to the basketball.
But Justin got a lot of demands, though,
Okay, yeah, and weight is one of them.
Oh, you can stop, man.
You don't want to keep going, so I'm just going to get to you.
No, stop. Yeah, thank you for the support.
Yeah. So that lead is there, and I think that you were sharing how the biggest stress is sometimes getting it funded. And we hope and trust, I don't know who's watching us, that maybe somebody could just really sponsor the league, because that will help y'all to move forward. There's a lot of bills that has to still be paid, from the rental to the uniforms to the various things that they got going on. So I hear you, and that is so true.
That's true, because for us, we have a waiting list too of students, that want to play. And a lot of times these kids, there's other basketball leagues, but they're more team leagues. So if their high school's not playing in the league, then they left doing anything. So for me, I want to make sure that we can get more teams in the league. At one point we were at 10 teams. Mm-hmm. Now we're down to 6. It was just because of funding, so we had to cut it down. And it was sad, because now you walk away with like 50 to 75 kids on the waiting list.
But let me just say this to you too, and I don't know whether it will help, but your church that you belong to and faithfully tithe at, would always jump in and help, because if you need a space, facility, we have one of the state-of-the-art facilities here at East Iron Fair. Maybe you can put half of your group over here. At least that's one part of it can help. With a rental part, we can help in that area and whatever area else we would need. But I just want to make sure that if you got kids and you really got coaches and people who are responsible, try to use some of the resources that you have. I know you want to work with everybody else but your church, but every so often, let your church build some good stuff, and they got some good facilities. Matter of fact, I'm willing to put our facility up against the Powell Center. You will see. When's the last time have you been in your gym?
Yes, I have.
Oh, okay. And is there anything missing from your gym that maybe the Powell Center has? Maybe we can get it done?
Yeah, just me.
Okay. See how you're good. You took all of my lines. But so what else is going on with Duffy Hope?
Well, we got our annual celebrity basketball game coming up. It's just 20 years for our celebrity game. So 20 years. So we want to make it bigger and better than it ever been. This year it's back at the Chase Fieldhouse. We have our high school all-star game at 5:30. We have our celebrity game kicking off at 6:30. We're going to announce our first celebrity this week. So we're looking forward to that. Ticket prices are now $35. For general admission, $120 for VIP. With the VIP, you get to go to a VIP meet and greet. You get floor seats, and then you get the VIP experience. We have a little lounge that's upstairs for the young people.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I saw I call him Heavy D, Justin up there. So he must have been one of the VIPs up there. Make sure I keep my seat on the floor, though. I love that floor seat. You get a chance to interact with real people.
You got a lifetime.
Okay. All right.
Seats right there. But this is one of our fundraisers. This is one of the things that we do each year in August, first week of August, to raise money for our program.
Yeah.
So to keep, all our programs are free, and we want to keep it that way. So this is, when we come up short, not getting enough funding, we always rely on this, money from our celebrity game to help pay for, if it's a trip for the kids, or if it's help cover a cause for a kid to go to school, or some type of clothes or anything for our young people. So it's important that we raise money. Our goal is to raise $85,000.
Okay.
So that's our goal to raise this year for the celebrity basketball game.
For it, or at the end of it? You want to raise $85,000?
At the end of it.
So you're gonna walk away with a profit of $85,000?
Profit $85,000.
Okay.
So we need everybody's support on this.
Yeah.
I know it's an election year, so please, all the elected officials, help us donate, because, for these young people and these families, man, this is a great thing for them, and they love being at this event. And it's also, they love the programs we do for Duffy's Hope, you know, and they love that they don't have to dig in their pocket. You know, I go back to a lady called the office last week, and she wanted to know, she wanted to get her son in to the basketball league. She seen the flyer, but she was like, how much is it? Because, you know, if it costs too much, you know, she won't be able to afford it. I said, well, it ain't gonna cost you anything, it's free. She said, oh, wow, thank you. And when she came to the draft Monday, she came over there and hugged me and thank you, because, you know, everybody out here charging an arm and a leg and all that. And I was like, for me, I just want to get back to the community. And that's what that's one of the things my mom instilled in me, and some of my role models that were growing up, that when I was growing up, told me just always get back.
That's right. That's right. And you're doing a phenomenal job with that too. Yeah. You know, it's interesting because I had allowed someone to use our gym, and I was sold, it was sold to me that there was no charge. Then later found out there was a charge, because I was not going to charge anything, because if a person is using it and they're not charging our kids, then that's a community use, and I believe that we should make that stuff available. But to hear that, I know some of the costs. My daughter is playing volleyball now, and what we are paying for her to be in tournaments, leagues, is just unbelievable. And for you to say that the basketball league is free, that's huge.
Yeah, free. The basketball league, all our programs are free. We don't ask for nothing. Kids just went to Hershey Park back in May, Memorial Day weekend. They went to Hershey Park, and we took about 75 kids.
Wow. And
we had 2 buses, and listen, the kids didn't have to pay for nothing. They got a free ticket to Hershey Park. They got all day dining, all day drinks.
Oh, wow.
So they had a great time, man. Parents, I always tell parents, you know, if you want to send them, want to spend their money, it's fine, but they're going to eat. But don't feel like even when we go to Florida, they didn't pay anything. And parents, I said, listen, if they don't have to spend their money, it's okay. Just talk to me, and I will make sure they okay. You know, we're not going to make sure that everybody, you know, buy some other stuff and they can't get nothing. So we want to make sure, we don't want nobody to hold their kids back. Say, oh, no, I don't have no money for them to go. Not even no spending money. We want to make it, you know, okay, because this is a life change, a life experience for these kids. You know, sometimes these kids don't get the opportunity to go to Florida, don't get the opportunity to go to New York or to amusement park. So let Duffy Hope do it for them, you know?
Yeah, you know, and as you were talking, I was thinking how it's like when we were being raised, and I'm just a little bit older than you, there were some free things in the community. You know, they allowed us to go maybe down the street or something. We still had to stay in our community pretty much. But nowadays, there's hardly nothing free for our young people. And to hear Duffy Hope is doing things like taking young people to Florida, to Hershey Park, that's huge. That's huge.
It's definitely. You know, it's this thing right here, right? I hear especially grandparents, because there's a lot of grandparents raising these young people. And, you know, they always say, there's no programs to prevent my grandsons or granddaughters to keep them out of trouble. But once they get in trouble, there's a whole bunch of programs that's free for them. Mm-hmm. All these prevention programs cost money. So for us, it's free. I want to be able to help people, man.
Yeah, and earlier you spoke to the politicians who are running for office. 2 points on that. One, when is the celebrity basketball game?
August 3rd.
Right, which means it's before Election Day. So what we probably hope is that they would recognize that them being there and supporting, being a sponsor, really helps the community to see that they are invested in the community.
Absolutely.
And I think that's very important because all too often we'll show up at a church, which doesn't take much, but to really show that you are part of the community, one of the things that what you're doing is a very strong program that will show that your environment really matters at another level. Also, with the politicians, so we probably, and we have some who are very good friends who there are some, you made a comment about how when they in trouble, there's a lot of free services, but keeping them from getting in trouble is very limited. Uh-huh. And I think we don't want to miss that moment, because too often that's the truth. Matter of fact, it is the truth. But why should we have to wait until there's a problem to give the services that we could give before, and your organization is trying to offer them?
Absolutely.
So I hope that, you know, the General Assembly could hear this and say, you know what, let's start funding people like Duffy's Hope.
Absolutely.
So that they can continue to do the good work. You got to prove, listen, you got the research. You got a proven track record. You go to graduations every year and say, these are one of mine. We do something here at East Iron Fair. You come to the 9 a.m. service, so you don't really see this as much. But at 11:30 every quarter, we honor our scholarship children. Your daughter was one every year. She comes to the 9 too, so she don't get her little $3 that we give out. But when they say a child's name, whatever that child belongs to in this church, you'll hear calls go out. And you'll always hear me say things like EFCCA, because we have a lot of kids who come out of our academy here, to show that it's working. One of the things that your assistant said to you is that you don't really toot your own horn, in essence. You have produced a lot of kids. You've kept a lot of kids out of the grave. And I think what has to happen is we need to start highlighting that. That needs to start being uplifted. Even though you can't say, well, if this person wasn't a part of my program, they would have been in a grave. The reality, looking at the data, so many young people who are doing nothing, that's where they end up at. Giving them something to do, giving them places to go is very critical and very key, and it has to be funded. 10 years you went without being salaried because you fell, and at the end of the day, if I get paid or not, it's about the kids. At this point, while you're still trying to, get over the extra pounds you gain, you probably now need to really hone in on, or I hope that the community leadership, the public servants, the politicians lean in on, let's just try to make sure we fund Duffy and use it as a model.
Absolutely. Not saying that Duffy Hope have all the answer, but like you said, we have a proven track record. We have, worked with so many young people. Since our 2002, we worked with over 7,500 young people in the state of Delaware. And so for us, it's like, man, what else can we do to really try to help these young people? We don't get support. All these things that we do is because we see it's a need.
Right.
It's a need. When I was growing up, it was easy to get into programs that was free.
Right.
Now it's hard because everybody wants to charge or wants to do this
well, it's limited funding.
Yeah.
And if we had more funding, people probably would not be charging.
Absolutely. And for me, it's a commitment. That's all I tell the kids, consistency and commitment. Being committed and consistent, because that will take you a long way.
Being committed, consistent will build your character too. I want to give you 3 C's. You know how I do. I gotta have 3. You're doing 2. That's giving me half the sermon. But I think Duffy, before we run out of time, I want you to once again share with the people who are watching us, how can they donate to Duffy's Hope in order to keep hope alive, as Jesse Jackson would say.
Keep hope alive. Duffy's Hope here for you. Please donate. You can donate it. You can call us at 302-652-3532, or you can email us at info@duffyshopeinc.org, or you can go on our website, and it's a donation button on there. It's duffyshopeinc.org, or on social media, Duffy's Hope, Facebook, Duffy's Hope. I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
And then if you see me on the street, say Duffy Hope and donate. But we'll give you a receipt.
Right.
We give receipts. It's tax deductible.
Yeah.
So listen, one thing about us, we're gonna make sure you give you a thank you note.
Yeah. And so if you got cash, don't give it to him on the street, because I don't want him to go to jail. I was taught there's 2 ways to really get rid of black men, and that is one of them is the money. So if you got a check, you can just hand it to him, and he'll make sure that it gets to the right hands. Yeah. And I think that's great. Duffy, we only have a few minutes remaining, but I want to thank you once again for taking time out to come and let's talk about it. For the last remaining minutes we have, could we just talk a little bit about the house that you have opened up or opening, and where we are with it, so that we can get an update? Because we're going to have a whole segment, a whole show on the success of the house once it gets moving. Yeah,
so we did our ribbon cutting back in January. We've been in the process. We had a setback, so now we're in the process of working on some more funding for the house, the operational dollars, and we're actually interviewing some young ladies in the next couple weeks, so we can get them in. So hopefully we be hopefully they'll be in there fully by the middle of July.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. And how many spaces do you have?
We have four beds for 4 young ladies. We'll start small.
Right. Absolutely. We don't despise humble beginnings. Because it's going to become a model to do many more things. And these are for young girls.
Young girls aging out of foster care, ages 18 to 23.
The community that is very much overlooked.
Yes.
And he talked fast just then, but that community is very much overlooked. I mean, people, again, they put them in foster care, and in some cases, it worked well because it helped them from being homeless. Mm-hmm. But then once they age out, where do they go?
Most of the times they're on the street. They don't get the resources or the education they need, so they end up on the street. So for us, we wanted to close that gap and be one of the organizations that can help, lift them up, unlock a youth potential.
Okay, all right, very good. Well, Duffy, it has been a joy having you on today. I'm hoping that you will come back when we get the house open and moving. Maybe we can do a special segment on it so that we can really show that this model works. We miss that community. Sometimes we have overlooked that community. Nobody cares about that community to the level that they need to. And I think that you have really put your eye in the right spot to see that you got some good staff now. I see everybody's happy, you happy. I'm grateful for Duffy Soap, and I hope that y'all continue to do. Is there any parting words that you want to share at this time?
Oh, just one event I left out before the weekend too. I left out our Evening of Hope, which is our masquerade ball we having this year. So we changed it up from years ago when you were there. We give out awards to community members, and also we recognize we had 20 students that's graduating this year out of our program, and also that graduated from high school. So we, that's August the 2nd at Christiana Hilton.
Y'all been having it there for almost 20 years.
Yeah. So we are. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. You can get your tickets on Eventbrite, $75 for individual ticket, then $700 for a table of 10. So it's just something, that's another fundraiser for us as well, to raise money to keep the programs free. So that's, you want to come out and put your mask on and have fun, not the mask that you had to wear for COVID, but a little party mask, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I know, and to my understanding, one of our ministers sent me a flyer saying, "Pastor, could you get a ticket because they're honoring me, Brother Cleckley."
Yes.
So I guess that means that we need to at least get a table because he's one of our ministers here at East Zion Fair.
And can I say something real quick about him?
Sure.
Like you know his story, right? Yeah. So great guy, from the east side where I grew up at. He's older than me. He was always into sports, and he always had encouraging words for me and other young brothers. But he actually volunteered his time to be a coach in the league. He never won a championship, but he came up short a couple times. But he did a lot of great stuff. And even when he stopped coaching, he came back to assist Eric English, who's our league coordinator. Mm-hmm. So he's been around, and like I said, Clack has just been a blessing to the league, man. So I had to hire him this year, put him in there, give him an award for what he has done for Duffy Soap over the last 15 years.
That's awesome. So I guess you will see your church family for that event, because when he sent me the notice, I said, I'm getting it from two sides this time. But we got to make sure that we are supportive. Listen, it's been a great joy, Duffy, having you with me today. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
And I hope and trust that everything continue to go well as we get closer to the celebrity weekend. I call it that because you got two major things that's happening. We come back so that we can try to compel people to get those tickets, buy those tickets. Don't forget to use the website that you have seen on the screens, and make sure you call the number. And now that he has a competent staff for real, his wife is down there in the office, and others, please make sure you give a call, and let's try our best to do what we have to do to support Duffy's Hope. We'll be right back.
The world looks a whole lot different depending on where you stand.
Sure does.
From growing up in Wilmington to serving as a diplomat in a country devastated by war, starting 2 small businesses that created jobs, and teaching middle school math in neighborhoods that are too often overlooked and left behind. I'm Matt Meyer, and no matter where I stood, if something was broken, I've always tried to make it better. So when the insider said I had no shot against a 12-year incumbent, I ran for Newcastle County Executive anyway.
Gotta love an underdog.
Knocking on nearly 10,000 doors because our county looks different depending on where you stand, too.
Hey, Mr. Meyer, in our classroom,
You always made us show our work.
We put the county checkbook online in the first 6 months to show where your tax dollars are going. We are making our county cleaner and greener, investing in early childhood and mental health services. Started 1,000 kids coding to give low-income students high-income skills. And we created the Hope Center, helping thousands of people get off the streets and into homes.
Now, as too many families struggle with the rising costs of housing and health care, too many communities go without clean air and clean water.
And our schools rank 46th in the nation. I know we can do better, because we should be a state where every kid gets a great education, where every family has a safe neighborhood they can afford to call home, and every woman makes decisions about her own body.
You got that right.
I'm Matt Meyer, and I'm running for governor, so that no matter where you stand, we can all see a brighter future.
Don't forget the website.
And we're back. What a great show today, and I hope and trust that you really paid attention to the commitment and dedication that Duffy's Hope have in its leader, as well as cut. I didn't like that. I messed up. Don't forget, we're gonna cut it. Okay. Yeah. Tell me, give me another cut in.
All right. We are back in 3, 2.
And we're back. What a great show today. I'm very grateful that Duffy took time out of his schedule to really just sit down and talk with us again, to hear a little bit about some of the exciting things that are going on with Duffy Hope. I have always been a very strong believer that when you have people who are serving their community, we need to support them. I was raised in the projects of North Philadelphia, and the Catholic charities were the only ones who would do anything. But today, it is refreshing to see organizations like Duffy Hope, who's from this community, who's given back all of those programs you heard him talk about today. None of them are totally funded to a place where the children have to pay money. But they get in these programs, they become great, they graduate, they learn character, they get stronger, and all too often we don't talk about the outcomes. We just talk about the crime and the things that are happening in and around our city. I'm grateful that Duffy took time out today, that you can see that your grandchildren, that your children have a place they can go. They can try to get into some of these programs, that their character may be built so that we won't have to use them as statistics in the future. It was a great show today, and I'm hoping and trusting that you will donate. At the end of the day, that's what's needed for nonprofits. And this is one nonprofit I stand behind very strongly. I see the work, I see the commitment, and I certainly trust the leader. Until the next time we get together, may the Lord God bless you real good.
Thank you for watching this episode of Coffee with Curry. Tune in next week, Sunday at 11 a.m.